Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. A discussion with General Ravi Shankar is always a fun one. He brings forth a lot of facts hitherto not known to all of us. Today also he has a PowerPoint presentation with which he'll walk us through what is happening between India and Nepal and what is the import of the trip of Donald Lu to India, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. So let's welcome General Ravi Shankar. General sir, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you?
Good evening, sir. Thanks a lot. Long time. It's not long time. It's only 1 week back. We met at. It does seem a long time these days. A lot of interesting things happening, and one of the most interesting things is happening in Nepal, where that
Yes,
fellow
indeed.
scooted off to China. And so, which way do you want to take it?
Yes, General Ravi Shankar, I want to ask you a question. One of the big achievements of Prime Minister Chandrasekhar, I don't know if he did it before he became that or after he became that, was to bring democracy to Nepal. Before that, there was King Birendra. This was actually a kingdom. It was a Hindu kingdom, very clear about what it wanted to be and where it wanted to go. I don't see any stories about him having misbehaved, King Birendra. Yet a family member shot him down, assassinated, a lot of halagula, and then there was democracy. And now we are at a situation where the communists are in power in Nepal. Right from there, the challenges start for India. Sir, I would like you to take us back as far as you want and then take us through and tell us, because many of us don't understand Nepal fully. That's my
Yeah,
take.
I agree with you. You see, let me put it this way. Your start point itself tells me that, the entirety of Nepal is not understood. Why? Because you need to delve deeper into Nepal to understand.
Yes.
Nepal lost, uh, I wouldn't say faith or trust, confidence that India will be its guarantor for peace in 62. Not later, whatever happened is an evolution. It was in 62 when China defeated India militarily, and whatever happened in Arunachal Pradesh and Ladakh and all that, that China realized, that Nepal realized that look, we are caught between two countries who are going to be at loggerheads for a long time, and the country with which we have uh, religious roots and natural connectivity is not as strong as we thought it was, and so we can't rely on that only, and we have to start developing relationship with China, and especially because 1956, I mean, if you go back in time, China entered Tibet, and Dalai Lama had by then had come here 59. So that entire sequence, Nepal watched over a decade, and then it came to the conclusion that look, we can't bet our everything with India only. And ever since then, it has slowly, uh, the polity of Nepal also has changed. As much as socio-economic conditions in our country have changed, have they changed in Nepal, and that is why this slow drift towards you know China. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing which we have to understand is why has Marxism taken root or communism taken root in Nepal? You know, if you see the history of communism, communism has taken root in every poor country. And Nepal was also a poor country. In fact, it still remains a poor country. And now they were under communist influence from the north, officially through the Chinese Communist Party, and from the south also. You go back to the time. We talk of Naxalbari. Where is Naxalbari? Naxalbari is just at the base of Nepal. Right? The entire story, if you think Naxalism and communism spread from there down, you even now talk of Red Corridor and all that. You think it spread this way only, it spread to the north also. Okay? So they came under the twin effects from the north and from the south on communism. And communism will reside wherever there is, you know, poverty. And if you go back into the northeast, I'm talking of the days of 70s, 80s, 90s. Complete tea belt was communist. The labor was all communist based, right? And North Bengal and the complete Bengal, after all, was a communist state ruled by communists. And if Bengal is in such a pitiable state today, thanks to the communists. So, communism spreading into Nepal is probably a natural outcome. Like, when you say that Nepal and India have this Hinduism connect, we must understand there's a communist connect also. So, let's not blame China for it. We need to look internally here in this. Uh, Remember the heydays of Jyoti Basu and Buddhadev Bhattacharya and all that. After all, so we have to live with it. And Nepal changed. You could change Bangladesh. I mean, you could change Bengal, West Bengal. You could change. Good, bad, or ugly. It went through one change. It shed communism. Now it's with TMC. Tomorrow it might shed TMC and go to BJP. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, it might shed BJP and go. But there's a change. But Nepal has changed in a different manner. So that is why you see that you're now living with a problem. We have to realize this. There's a fundamental thing which we have to realize. Plus the fact that the Terai region of India has always been home to a lot of things which are not desirable, smuggling, this, that, and all, because it was poorly populated, rough terrain, and all that. So we have a lot of issues. But let me not go back into the whole thing and see the etymology of all that. Let me talk of the current situation. That's more important and relevant to all of us. So first and foremost, we must understand Nepal sits on our heartland. You can get that map. Just look at the map of Nepal. Okay, the Nepal sits over the Gangetic plains. Okay, water from Nepal comes into our Gangetic plains. If we have problems with Nepal, a lot of things get affected. From the high Himalayas, they come down. Okay, so that's something very, 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 very important that all of us must understand. Second, there is news that, of course, Prime Minister Oli has gone to China. He's made a deal. We'll touch upon that. But there is something else we have to understand. See how many prime ministers Nepal has had since 2011. From down below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in the past 13 years, it has had 10 prime ministers. And the 11th is now in chair. So every year and a half, the prime minister changes. So this chap, KP Sharma Oli, is an out and out communist. So he going to China doesn't worry me too much, because tomorrow someone else will come and ringa ringa roses hota rehta hai. You see Prachanda is coming back, and Sher Bahadur Devba has come back twice, and except only the other two governments which have come generally are okay with India. So to that extent, this is a temporary phase. I'm not too bothered about it. But what I'm bothered about is the long-term implications. Let again look at this thing about BRI. There's a lot of news coming in, and a lot of editorials in Nepal which say about Nepal joining BRI and Chinese influence and all that. Yeah, Nepal joined BRI in 2017, but no projects have been realized. Okay, what only Mr. Oli has signed is just a BRI cooperation framework. And he's given his wish list of projects. China has given its wish list of projects, what it wants to do. They say that this framework will pave the way for execution of BRI projects. All these are question marks. Details are not clear, finances are not clear, nothing is clear. Except they've shaken hands, signed a framework agreement, and a lot of halla gola about it, and end of story. Okay. See, in this whole story, Nepal wants grants. and China wants to give loans. China has not given free money to anyone. So why will it give to Nepal? And Nepal has seen Bangladesh. Nepal has seen what's happened in Maldives, what's happening in Sri Lanka, what's happened in Pakistan. Nepalese are not fools. Okay, so they don't want loans, and they've already had this experience, of this Pokhara airport, which was built. They took loan from China. China motivated them to build this airport. They built this airport, and there are no flights there. It's like Hambantota. Okay, and Nepal doesn't know how to repay its loans. So I don't see this, going too far. I'm not too worried about it. But then if you see, you see a lot of think tanks now in China talking. Oli's visit to China first, rather than India, is not unexpected, but rather a reflection of the increasing policy choices for South Asian countries and things like that. They quote Mohammad Muzu, who also went to China but later regretted. KP Sharma Oli will not regret. He will go get maximum money which he can from China for his next election. After 1 year, he'll be kicked out of power. Someone else will come. Then he will use Chinese money to kick that fellow out. That's how this whole story goes. So if you think this is for some great BRI thing coming out and all, let's forget it. But what is of concern? I mean, what is of concern? Permanent concern is this. This. On the left is the area, the orange is this area of Kalapani, Lipu Lake, and Limpudara, which is disputed by Nepal. Actually, it is not so, but this dispute came up in 2020. Instigated by China when KP Sharma Oli was the prime minister then. Then they laid claim to it. Now the official map of Nepal, which is on the right, has this area of Limpudara, which is in red, that hook which comes out. No? So it was not there earlier. And then what these people did was they went to the parliament and got it ratified by the parliament and published a new map and gave it to China and said, this is it. So this is now created. And they also, I think, showed this in one of their currency notes also. So now they've created a situation when this chap, KP Sharma Oli, was in power. So this is the thing who will do. He will create more problems in the time this thing. One thing about the Chinese you have to admit is that they will take definitive action. And that puts us in a bit of a issue. I mean, it's not a great issue that we can't handle, but every time it will come up. It will be irritant in our relationship. China built airport, as I said. The next major irritant is this. Sorry, I'll calm down. Yeah, this. In the next 1 year, you'll see this thrust for the railway line to come down. The railway line is far away. What will come down is they're going to do a project feasibility study, EAO, all that. Maybe the railway line, by the time it comes on, will take another 20 years. But they are looking at a thing from the Western Highway of Tibet to come down to the foothills of Nepal. They will start some work. Chinese companies will start working there. And with Chinese companies will come Chinese private security guards or mercenaries or PLA. And these staffs will be loafing around in the northern edge of Bihar and UP. And they will start getting influence. The railway line can get built over 20 years. I'm not bothered. But in this 20 years, because of the presence of China or the Chinese, the locals will get corrupted and you'll see anti-India feeling coming in. That is the issue which one has to really bother about. Right. And then just think, you are sitting at the LAC trying to border, we can take this slide off for present, Sachin. We are sitting on the border and trying to guard the LAC and all that. Here comes the Chinese over the next 5-10 years. If they come in through heartland Nepal and appear on top of UP or Bihar, what happens? Our complete security architecture goes for a toss. That's the problem. They'll not give money, they'll not give anything, but enough leeway China has with Nepal to do all this nonsense. The next thing, what about Agniveers? Now, see, we have a whole lot of Gorkhas from Nepal who come, join the Gorkha regiment, serve in the Indian army. They serve in the artillery also. We had one regiment of Gorkhas in artillery also. We have still in artillery also, and all these people are now, there's no more recruitment from them or Nepal into Indian army because of Agniveer problem. But let me explain the benefit of having these soldiers in Nepal. There are nearly 1 lakh soldiers, pensioners of Indian army in Nepal. They get pension from India. There's an officer who's supposed to be a pension disbursement officer. He goes, gives money every month, gives them pension. Now, those chaps have served India. They've served under the Indian tricolor. Their allegiance is to India, and their rosy roti, everything is to India. Now, each those pensioners take a family size of maybe about 10, because extended family, village family, this, that. And if he's done well in politics and even local level politics, he has influence. So you're looking at an influence through these people of over 10 to 12 lakhs Nepalese spread all over Nepal. Now, with Agniveer not being, subscribed by Nepal, they're not interested in coming and joining Indian Army because of your Agniveer program. They have a view that, look, if a chap comes out after 4 years fully trained into Nepalese society, what do we do with them? He's fully trained. He'll only create problems for us. So he's not prepared to, or he'll go and join as some private guard or something and something, and they have problems. So they have, anyway, whatever the problems they have or not, they've stopped subscribing to the Indian Army. So this 10 lakh influence which you have is slowly going to come down. See the difference. On one side, you have stopped the Agniveer program and your influence in Nepal is going to erode. On the other hand, the Chinese are going to come and do some survey work and some nonsense and start throwing money around to do that feasibility study for the railway track right up to Terai region. And their influence is growing. So this is the problem. This is the problem in Nepal today. So the point is, whenever this chap KP Sharma Oli has been in, power, he's taken a step which Nepal can't reverse. The other two are find it difficult to reverse because there is no clear-cut majority for either of these three gentlemen. They all have to be in coalition with each other. Even now, one of them is supporting KP Sharma Oli, and he was a chap who toppled the previous two governments. So he's a wily character, right? So you're going to have this problem of your influence going down, Chinese influence going up is a given. We have to understand this, right? And uh, whether China gives money, whether or not BRI happens or not, is a secondary issue, right? Now, these are the factors which are there. But I have one more prickly factor, and this is a very serious factor which we have to consider. Can I have that slide up, please? Look, look at this. The words have got shifted. There's an analogous situation between what's happening in Ukraine and what's going to happen in Nepal. Just think. You see, Ukraine was a buffer state between Russia and USA, NATO, and EU. That buffer has now virtually gone. It's in chaos for the past 3 years. Why? Russia entered Ukraine and USA, NATO, and EU are sitting on the other side and only making faces and shouting. No one is listening to them. Ukraine is in pain, but Russia is inside. Not going to go back. It's going to continue to threaten Europe. Just think if the same thing happens tomorrow in Nepal. Chinese come and sit in Nepal in some manner. They might not do what Russia is doing to Ukraine. But once the Chinese get in, they'll not get out. We've seen that already in Ambantota. They're sitting there. They're going to sit there for the next 98 years. Because out of the 100 years lease, 2 years are done. 98 years, you're going to have Chinese vessels coming to Hambantota. Because it's their property. So similarly, they'll buy off half the Nepal, which is strategically important. Why I'm worried about that railway line coming down? That railway line coming down this railway line coming down is influence in over half of Nepal. See, it's touching Pokhara, it's touching Lumbini. Lumbini is the place where Buddha was born. Okay, they're coming down to Kathmandu. Everything, every place, and your influence is gone. So this is a problem we have to understand. The analogous situation which I showed is this: how does India deal with the situation where Nepal is quasi-occupied by China in times to come? Aaj ke din it doesn't matter. Today it doesn't matter. But tomorrow what do we do? Yeah, please take it out. So these are the issues which are in on the cards. Whenever KP Sharma Oli goes to China, he goes every time he becomes a prime minister, and starts falling at their feet. These are the issues which crop up. Okay, in this context, so Sree ji said, why is that Donald Lu loafing around here? If I were in the government of India today, I'll welcome him with the red carpet. And I'll play one red carpet out to Bangladesh, one to Nepal, and say, please go and sort them out and come back. He's your friend. Why do you think he's come? He's come very simple. They started something in Bangladesh. It's like a Frankenstein. They don't know how to control it. So he's come to by India के साथ कुछ तो कर लो यार, इसको sort out करते हैं साथ बैठ के. Because Trump would have told, you don't go and sort this out, I'll already sort you out. And the moment on 20th January, if I come into chair, Donald Lu will go, he'll also be extradited wherever he came from, or something like that. That's the way I look at it. And Nepal, I'm sure, with the kind of orientation which the Trump cabinet has towards China, look, that the writing is on the wall as far as the Trump cabinet is concerned. They're going to be anti-China, hawkish on China. We've discussed this earlier also. So they will not be very comfortable with what's happening in Nepal. And we don't have, that kind of a connection which you can do anything with Nepal, because if you show a direct hand with Nepal, it will boomerang on us. So I will give a red carpet to Donald Lu and say, please carry on, just do what you have to do, and any help you want, we'll give you. Do whatever you want. But what can you do? Who against whom? And mind you, USA has invested in Nepal. It's not as if they've not invested in Nepal. So these are the broad issues which are in thing. Shreyarji, any questions so far? We'll answer, and then I'll say what India should do.
Sir, I have one observation. I don't know if this is true or not. I believe in 1947 that Nepal also wanted to unite with India, and India turned it down. Any idea about that?
Well, it could be there, it might not be there. You might be right, I might, and all that. But that's history now. It's 70 years old. You can't do anything about it.
Okay. Next question. I understand. 2014, 15, there was a blockade that India did of Nepal.
Yeah.
What was the whole story behind it? Because has the Nepali on the street turned against India after that? What happened?
Yeah, unfortunately, we did a blockade without thinking of the repercussions, without thinking through about the repercussions. The moment you did a blockade without thinking through the repercussions, right, the Chinese stepped in. You see, virtually, I mean, to put it on the what's the news on the street of Nepal is the Indian ambassador, after the prime minister and the king and all, the Indian ambassador was the biggest man in Nepal. Today, it's a Chinese ambassador. Indian ambassador का value नहीं है. So we lost that, and all that started after 2014 because we did it with brute force. I mean, just think, you go there, 2016, when that 15 or 16 when that earthquake happened. You are the first responder. Even before anyone came, you were there. You helped people out. You helped people out in the Everest base camp. A lot of people had problems there. You helped people out. And then they told us to get out. What can be worse? Because your relationship with them was not good. Because of that blockade. So you use the sledgehammer to carry out an operation which required a scalpel. So you needed not 2014. I think it was a little before that or something like that. I'm forgetting the date. You used the sledgehammer where you needed a scalpel. And if you mean business, and India has done poorly on its neighbors. Let's be very honest about the whole affair. Partly because of the changing situations within those countries, and partly because of the fact that our Prime Minister said, neighbors first, neighborhood first. And by the time we really realize that it's neighborhood first, I think a lot of horses are shot out of the stable, bolted the stable. So now we say neighborhood first, but we're not making headway. And are we doing the right things is also a question mark. Like this Agnivir is a self-goal. We must be very clear about it. Agnivir is a self-goal. It's a long-term self-goal. That's my problem. So we have to find some method to resolve this problem. I hope I've given you, it's a long explanation, but it takes you into the background and then gets you to the present day situation.
General Ravi Shankar, there is always two aspects to dealing with your neighbors. You have the population and then you have the polity. Now, the polity will do whatever they want to stay in power. That is a given. We know that.
That's a given.
But you never lose connect with the population. The population has to always be, oh, these are nice guys. These are our good neighbors. I mean, if I have Nepalis are all over India, sir, and they are doing the hard yards. They do the hard yard security in many places.
Everything,
right?
Yeah, so, I agree with you. So, logically speaking, you should have a people-to-people connect and all that. We have that. I mean, let's not have any doubts. Yeah, of all places in Chennai, I see so many Nepalese. I have 2 Nepalese working in my house. They're prepared to come and work because they don't get even whatever we give them. And I'm generous with them, incidentally. They don't get anything in their homes. Right? They go once in 2-3 years and spend a couple of months and they come back at the earliest. When they come back, they're half the size from what they went from here. It's a fact because they tell us. So we don't get food to eat enough. We have to work hard for the time we are there. And what money you give, we just barely people eat through. And more people keep coming because we have a visa-free regime. Any Nepali can come anywhere and work here in India. There's no embargo on it, right? Nothing. So the natural flow is towards us. They depend on us for almost everything. The people in Terai have a saying with the people in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh and all, that they say Bihar roti beti ka dhoti beti ka roti beti ka rishta. They are the same people on the other side. 1/3 of Nepal is, like extended India. They're not, mind you, and they're not Gurkhas. Huh? They are people like plainsmen of India. Plains people of India. So we have a great connect. You have a religious connect. That's the only Hindu kingdom still, whether you like it or not. You have a religious connect. You have Buddhism connect. I mean, it's not one thing which you are not connected with them. You can do a tremendous economic favor to them if you harness water from their overflowing rivers. You need energy, you take energy and pay them at international rates also. It will do good to their economy and it will do good to your economy. You're in a win-win situation, we're not able to do it. There's something wrong, seriously. We have to do introspection as to why this is not there. Okay, fine. You say that the polity is this, and communism. I only said no, communism went from Naxalbari. And the chap Charu Mazumdar, he pushed it up. While he pushed it down, he pushed it up also. All that. Fine. But we also have to introspect where communism started, you have eradicated it today. Something else is there, that's a different problem. Why can't you eradicate there? Especially when you have equity of over 10 lakh people who need your money. Every month you pay them. They get pension from you, which many Indians don't get. Why couldn't you make a political party out of these people and put them up and have a thing on that? I mean, there are so many things. So I think we need to really take a hard look as to how to deal with Nepal. I mean, let me also put it this way. It's like someone has said, you need to do the hard thing. Yeah, we've done the hard thing. We've done the hardest thing by that blockade. But now we are doing something with a little bit of a scalpel. I showed you that picture of that Pokhara airport. Why flights don't land there? Because we don't let them land there. Simple. We don't give them permission to fly. We give them permission to fly over India only to go to Kathmandu. They don't go to Pokhara. So they don't go to Pokhara and flights can't come from China because no one flies over Tibet Plateau. Incidentally, I hope people know that no, it's a fact. I'm not saying anything which is not scientific. I'll prove it also why. No airline flies over the Tibet Plateau, including Chinese, except those which come to Lhasa. Right? So no one will come from Lhasa and enter Kathmandu. I mean, that's people have to go, and who will go to Kathmandu? Indians go to Kathmandu. Not many people from abroad will come. So, right. So Indians won't go to Lhasa and then come back to Kathmandu by flight and all, or Pokhara. So that is the reason why Pokhara is now failing. Right, and we've said very clearly, look, it affects our security, so we'll not allow. It's not anything else; it affects our security, on which Nepal doesn't have a leg to stand on. So that's how it is. So you need to do things where Nepal says, yeah, we have no other choice but India, and let's forget about China. Are we doing that? Do we have a plan? Of course, you have to contend with the fact that China has deep pockets, which you don't have. So all these issues are there in the puddle. Yeah, you're giving a smile. So
General
you
Ravi Shankar, when you say China has deep pocket, I am smiling because every yuan is quadrupled, sir.
that look, that's a different story. What China does, what about their? I today only I read it's all splashed all over all news that China has finally accepted that the growth rate is stalling. Now they say no, GDP growth rates are not important. They've said that. It's come out in Bloomberg, it's come out in Reuters, and it's come out in all over by tomorrow. In fact, day after tomorrow, I'll do a analysis of that. And all is well, hai na? Wo Three Idiots ka. So the question is all well in China? And there are a lot of issues why China is not well, but that's a different thing. But for these things, China still has money to give. It gives. What is there?
This is not much, right?
This is peanuts. This fellow, he is KP Sharma Oli has been given $20 million. He's very happy. उसका भाव $20 million है तो और क्या करोगे आप? ये बताओ. You can buy KP Sharma Oli out for $20 million with a promise for another 20. Oh, so that's how it is. Yeah.
Sir, couple of things that maybe some of our viewers may not know. The priests of Pashupatinath temple,
Yeah,
they come from Karnataka.
Karnataka. Correct.
The connects are very, very deep. And
Huge, very deep. I mean,
yeah,
that's what hurts me. The connects are there, people to people connect is there, everything is there, and yet we are not able to influence. Yeah,
and somebody has commented that King Tribhuvan wanted to join India in 1950 after the constitution was done around that time. Looks like Nehru refused, and I don't know why, because he said Kalat could not be taken in because it is not contiguous. But that's not the case with Nepal.
but the point is this. You see, it's like this. Why Nehru didn't take Nepal or not? Why a particular decision was taken in 1947 is irrelevant now because you can't revisit it. Even if
Right,
you
right.
revisit it, nothing will happen. I mean, so many things uh, we could do, we couldn't do, we should have done. Was India a strong state? It was not a strong state. We ourselves we didn't know how to stand on our own legs. Was Kashmir more important, or Nepal more important, or Junagadh was more important, or Hyderabad was more important? We have to think, no. So that's how it is. Yeah, there's a question. Jumbo
Yeah.
Bharati.
By the way, viewers, it is Madhya Desh, because it is the plains part of Nepal. Then they have the hills area, so that's called
Yeah,
Madesh now, where it actually cuts almost half across Nepal. We have some questions here, General Ravi
yeah.
Shankar. Let's
Please,
take
please.
them. Sir, the 2015 India blockade of Nepal began on 23rd September 2015 and lasted about 6 months.
Yeah,
Just for
yeah,
record
yeah.
sake.
I go with you.
Let's take some questions, please. Jaipuri Shankaracharya says Bangladeshi border guard force entering the Indian side and halting renovation of a temple is this not a serious issue? What are they trying to tell us?
Oh well, we'll sort it out. Don't worry. I'm sure the external affairs minister is going to Bangladesh shortly. It will get sorted out.
External
Next time,
Affairs Secretary, right?
yeah, minister.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Jaishankar is going to Bangladesh shortly. So we have a problem in Bangladesh. Let's be very clear. I'm not trying to make any excuses, and I've done a lot of shows on Bangladesh. Oh, yeah. Shankaracharya ji was also there with me in all this. We have a problem. So let's be alive to the fact. We have
Yeah.
to do something about Bangladesh, which is not normal.
Next one, please. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Namaskar. Two questions, sir. Why are these nations moving towards China when Bharat has always supported them? One.
Yeah, that's a that. Let's ask that. I told you, no, the beginning. I told you the two reasons. India's military defeat in 1962 convinced Nepal that it should go towards China. And second, you exported communism to them. Communism didn't come from heaven. It came from Naxal. It came from Naxal Bari. So and Chinese welcomed it with open arms there. That's how it is. Yeah.
And how can Bharat counter China, which could also save them from China in the long run?
Look, at this point of time, you don't have a counter to China through Nepal. Let's be very clear. Okay. And unfortunately, what you're supposed to do with Nepal, get more people into your army and things like that, you're doing exactly the opposite. So, what do you say? I mean, all of you must tell the government of India restart Agnivir for Nepal in some manner or scrap Agnivir. Anyway, that's a useless program. So we'll have to do something about it or modify it or something like that so that Nepal comes into our fold. That's the first basic thing. And then from there, a lot of things will flow. Oh, as far as countering China is concerned, okay, you must counter China and Bangladesh, which is a difficult task. You must shield Bhutan. You must counter China and Sri Lanka and Maldives. These are the places. And you have to do something in Manipur. You have a major problem in Manipur. Forget Nepal. Manipur is your town. It's not Nepal like a different country. It is your territory. Within no time, China will be there. In fact, Chinese influence is already there. So you have a lot of things at stake as far as look east and neighborhood first policy is concerned. So I think we have a hands full. You have Nepal in a problem, you have Bangladesh in a problem, you have Manipur in a problem. So let's not underplay everything and say, oh, Hinduism will sort it out, or a party will sort it out, or religion is the issue. No, you have to do some hard yards politically, geopolitically, militarily. Unless you do the hard yards and economically, okay, things won't reverse.
Next one, please. Jumbo Bharti wants to know 2015
Yeah.
blockade was second one. First one happened after Sonia Raji were denied entry into Pashupatinath temple.
Yep, I agree. That was not official, but this was official.
Bhaskar Verma wants to know Iyer and Shankarji, Jai Hind. Donald Lu is a moving headache as wherever he goes, he creates firestorm in that country. How we should counter it as he may be Chinese agent also as sub-name suggests?
No. Bhaskar, very simple. You please send him, I told you, no, in the beginning. Send him to Nepal, send him to Bangladesh and help him go there. Everything will be okay after that.
Maithili Aryan wants to know General Shankarji Namaskaram. Heard PM Oli has gone to China for BRA project, but they won't take loan from them. Your views for it's same thing. They want a grant.
They want a grant. Nepalese want free paisa. As simple as that. Then which China is not prepared to give. What they have said is they'll give some aid finance or something like that. It'll be aid, but Chinese are still want to give only loan.
General Ravi Shankar, as a matter of curiosity, the gauge of China's railway system is not the same as our broad gauge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not.
So there's a story here. I don't know if you've heard this story. So China designed its railways after US had finished linking the West Coast and the East Coast. And now some people who had worked in that, they returned back to China and then they wanted to start the project there. Now, they had taken measurements of the gauge, how wide are the two rails. The only problem was they didn't remember if it was the inner width or the outer width.
I heard this, yes.
So I think now they are not compatible with any railway system. So
yeah. Any case, Chinese are not compatible with anyone. So why?
My way or the highway. In deed, spirit, and words.
Yeah. I agree with you completely.
Shyam Jandyala wants to know, sir, is rescinding the age-old friendship treaty an option? At least the borders won't be open.
Look, you will have more problems if you do that. This is if you rescind the friendship treaty, it's as good as a complete blockade after that. Remember that. It'll be the worst case option. You have to do things intelligently. It's not going to happen easily. You have to do things intelligently. Or, like I said, you should not, where you can use a scalpel, don't use a hammer. And also be confident of the fact that you're a rising power. Your economy is going up. China's economy will go down. Time is on your side. You have so many things plus points to hang on to. And China doesn't have. You see, the average Chinese, Nepalese cannot go and work in China. He has to go how far to work in China. He'll not get work permits and all that. And working in China is not an easy thing. You see, people on the ground level are smart. If they can enter India and work in India and live like Indians with the same rights as Indians, why will they go to China and work as second-rate people. I mean, a very fundamental thing, They might say, okay, I might get a little more money in China. Might. I don't think that is also right. Might, because you see, no, why I'm saying, oh, I did this program a couple of weeks back, in which it came out that the Chinese per capita income and India's per capita income, there's not much difference.
Yeah, yeah. I listened to that one with
Yeah,
General Rajiv Narayanan. Yeah.
yeah, it's not much. There's not much difference. So as a result of that, these Nepalese won't go and work as migrant labor in China, where they don't have any rights. Living is hell, and they're 3,000, 4,000 kilometers away from their homeland with no connectivity whatsoever. And why would they do it? They'll naturally come to you. So why, you rescind this age-old friendship treaty, you're blocking them off. Is it a good idea at all?
Next one, please. So, just a philosophical question, General Ravi Shankar, because you know this area like the back of your hand. We'll come back to these questions, viewers. I just had one question. 2014, 2015, the first 2 years of Modi government, fracas in Arunachal Pradesh, problem there, had to be reconstituted. Supreme Court said that you cannot dismiss the government. So Article 356 kind of got out of their repertoire of things to do. Then this blockade. I'm wondering if Modi went from one side over all the way to the other side, and he needs to now find some middle ground. I'm not so sure. This is just philosophically. I'm not saying that we need to look at it in a
Yeah. I have no doubt about
point to
it.
point thing.
Yeah. Look, if Mr. Modi, after 10 years plus being in power, can't find a middle ground, right? And with very erudite external affairs minister like Mr. Dr. Shankar, then I think we are in trouble. We need to find. Look, you're not going to have ever a peaceful Nepal. You're not going to have ever a peaceful Bangladesh. Let's be very clear. So you have to maintain your, relations in such a manner. It's like catching a salmon. Let it go, pull it back. Let it go, pull it back. And every time it goes, you let it go less and keep pulling it back. That's how it has to be handled.
Very, very wise advice. I know exactly what he means. Many of us may not be salmon fishing, but those are the exact words.
Yeah.
Next one, please. Viswanathan R wants to know, should India not consider a special recruitment scheme for Nepal different from the Agniveer scheme?
Good. You could. But there are issues in that. There are issues in that. But I feel, why should you have that Agniveer scheme at all? It's not working internally, it's not working externally. Why have it? You're force fitting it. Now to say, no, Agniveer hoga. And every day I see, tweets coming out. Oh, Agniveer is so good, Agniveer so good. Everything is good about Agniveer. This is like, Chinese GDP, where everything is good in China. So everything is good in Agniveer. I mean, we have to get off our high horses and say, okay, we can make mistakes and correct it. The thing isn't correction. The fact that you need a Agniveer scheme is, you can't be debated anymore. You need it. But in the present way, it's not good. Down the line, you need to change it, start modification. And this is a huge thing. If you feel that Nepal can go out of your control and sit on UP and Bihar and your heartland, and you think that's a small issue, well, all the best.
One thing to say about the British, so few people, so much land they control. And I think they made it up by having superb intelligence. As a matter of fact, during the Second World War, just around that time, the United States started what is called as OSS, Office of Strategic Services, that went on to become CIA.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So there, the original advisors were Britishers who were telling them how, MI5, MI6 people, telling them how to go about doing this. And if India thinks that army is not needed to accomplish its objectives, for example, bringing about a breakup of Pakistan into N parts without firing a bullet. For that, you need a lot of intelligence, a very working intelligence team that can accomplish these objectives. It is possible. I'm not sure, because that will not ever come out. You'll only know after the fact that this did happen. So we'll hope for the best. And
Yeah, we'll hope
I
for
think
the best.
something. Yeah. Next one, please. Ajay Singh wants to know, General Shankar has a clear bias against the Agniveer scheme. I'm surprised that he's unaware that it is being modified. No. He doesn't have a bias against. He was one of the first ones to give a constructive suggestion. Come on, Ajay. You should watch
okay.
all videos of P Gurus.
No. It's okay. Let him say so. Let him feel. There's no bias. I have criticized the Agniveer scheme because it's a poorly conceived scheme. But at the same time, I have also said Agniveer isn't requirement. You have to modify it. As simple as that. But you have said that I am aware that it is modified. Okay. But where is it being modified? Who said it's being modified? I don't know, Ajay Singh ji, that you know that the government is modifying it, which I don't know. Yeah.
Next time, please. Manoj Soma wants to know, why, sir, why Agniveer has got such a backlash? I did some math on it. The government expenditure on pension salaries will decrease drastically. Your view, sir, average age of military also increases. Increases or decreases?
It's not a matter of it decreases. It's not a matter of being military pensions or this and that. You see, the militaries are made to defend a country. Okay, and militaries are structured in a particular manner to defend the country. The maths which you have to do on Agniveer is not on pension, salaries, age, and all that. They are secondary to the system. The fundamental structure of your units has to be balanced. Agniveer in its present format imbalances that. That imbalance will start after the 4th year. Slowly it will creep. So far, nothing has happened. After all, it's only 2 years. Another 2 years, when the chaps start going out, the imbalances will start coming. Now everyone is rosy. Everyone is talking. You have to look beyond. Okay. And when you look beyond and do the maths, it's not worth it.
Next one, please. Sanat Kolhatkar wants to know how the mess created by US in Bangladesh can be corrected by Donald Lu now.
Man, Donald Lu won't do it. Donald Lu he'll only go and light a fire there. He'll light a fire. He'll light some fire. Let's be very clear. There are people, right? And in lighting that fire, he will also now say, look, India, please take care of this whole story. It'll come to that.
Next one, please.
Otherwise, he'll not, that's what Trump will tell.
Yeah. Truth Seeker wants to know why we can't annex Maldives, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bangladesh, as their incompetent government always takes aid from Bharat and arm twists us as and when it suits them by running to China/US.
Yeah, you can't sort out Manipur for the past 1 year plus, which is a political problem. Okay. So you want to take Nepal, Maldives, Sri Lanka and sort all your problems out. Okay. You can't sort out J&K for 70 years. I mean, these are problems of the nation. Yeah, it is not the problem of one government or the other. and you want to take another 5 countries, which will pull you down because you have to put money into all these countries. So, truth seeker, seek the right truth.
Next one, please. Chirantan Saha wants to know, Sree, we blame Muslim Bangladesh for anti-India stance, but how will you explain Hindu Nepal going against India? There must be something wrong with foreign policy. Do you agree? Chirantan, this is what I said, right? You have to be able to connect with the people. That is different from what the polity does. Don't conflate the two. Don't confuse between the two. I think that's where I think the 2015 blockade, somehow because then you are hitting the people, right? When you do a blockade, everybody suffers. We know that they don't have enough food, and then you go and hit them there. I don't know exactly the reason why all that happened, because not much comes out. At the same time, always keep the connect with people intact. In Bangladesh, my anguish is that Hindus had nothing to do with the coup. Why are you taking it out on them? Sir, your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I go with you. I mean, the worst thing you could have done is, gone and hit the people in their belly. And you did it. It didn't affect the government. The government anyway would have got food from wherever it would get.
Correct.
People suffered. No. Yeah.
Tamil Hindu wants to know, sir, in a best case scenario, are the current and retired army personnel and families in Nepal beneficial to Bharat as of now, or is it the thankless case like Bangladesh?
No. They are very beneficial. They are very beneficial. They've served with us. They've served with us for 20, 25 years of their service. They have connects. People go and meet them there regularly. They come down to the units here and meet people. That connect is very deep. You go to Gorkha units and you see the camaraderie flowing there. It's a case of blood thicker than water. It's not Bangladesh. There's a big difference.
That brings us to a close of today's program. Thank you so much, General Ravi Shankar. And viewers, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with a good general next week, same time, same place. Namaskar.
Namaskar.